Hello, hello, hello. And it's coffee time, where we look at the Daily Mail website, see what's going on in the news. Top story, just breaking. Dishi Rishi has cancelled the northern leg of HS2. I mean, again, it was... I remember when it started, and everyone objected to it because of the environmental impact it was going to have, the cost of it, and there wasn't that much of a net benefit to it. And now, the really weird thing is, right, and this was a lot from the left, we're going, no, this isn't going to be a good thing. And now there's been murmurings that the Tories were going to cancel it. Everyone on the left are going, oh no, we must carry on. And I say to the missus, did I dream that, or has this been this massive fucking U-turn? Because it just shows you that a lot of left and right politics is just about contradicting each other. So anyway, good. I'm glad that the HS2 has been cancelled. The whole thing should have been ripped up from the beginning. It was a big waste of money when they should be investing in local transport needs, because nobody wants to travel from London to Manchester ever. No one wants to go up north, do they? Not really. But yeah, he's promising instead to put 36 billion into other transport projects to improve those. And this was announced at the Tory Party conference up in Manchester. Should have got the HS2 up there. Oh, he can't do that. So yeah, that's the top story. Meanwhile, old Lawrence Fox is in trouble again. I don't know if you know, he was an actor. He was once married to Billie Piper before becoming a kind of a right-wing grifter character. Well, anyway. Oh, and he's in the Reclaim Party. I don't know what that is. But he put some footage out saying that the police were searching his home. Unfortunately, you can't be arrested for being a prat. So, because that's the only thing he's really guilty of, isn't it? Really, he's being a prat and a sexist pig. But yeah, so this gives more grist to the mill for all those people that support the loons. We've had complaints, Mr. Fox, that you are a prat. Though again, you can tell he's a prat because look, he's got guitars. He's got guitars in the background, so you know he's a complete arsehole. Isn't it? I mean, anyone with guitars in... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, let's just get rid of that. Forget I said anything. But yeah, I think he'll be all right. Meanwhile, Banksy, as I like to call him, Wanksy, has been revealed, they reckon. A graffiti influencer, all right, is suing Banksy for defamation, right? And Banksy's company, Pest Control Limited, is also listed as a co-defendant, right? Gallagher's lawyers have refused to divulge details of the case, citing confidentiality, but the court hearing could force Banksy's identity out into the open, right? Which is interesting. And the name that's going around is a guy called Robin Gunningham, right? And he's got a wife called Joy Millwood, and he's been named as Banksy. And this is funny because in East London on office blocks, some stencil graffiti appeared featuring a fellow that looks a bit like Robin Gunningham. So there you go. So maybe this is it. The game is up. And funny thing is it does look like the fella that the Daily Mail caught a while. What was it? Back in 2008. Wow, look at that. The Banksy Unmasked story. And here he is when he was a pupil at Bristol Cathedral School, age 15. Just think. The game is over for Banksy. And yeah, his wife Joy Millwood worked as a researcher for Labour MP Austin Mitchell. I mean, this looks like a stock image of someone using a computer, but no, that's apparently his missus doing research for Austin Mitchell. I think he's long past now, isn't he? So yeah, there we go. Banksy could be revealed, but I wonder what the defamation is. That's the interesting part I find interesting. I wonder what's happened to cause them to have a rift. Obviously they were friends. Yeah. Meanwhile, if you're thinking of getting an electric vehicle, you'll think again after this story. Brian Morrison, right, said he was heading home from work at around 10 p.m. on Sunday when his new MGSS EV suddenly decided to take on a mind of its own. Yeah, it suffered what he describes as a catastrophic malfunction. And yeah, the Chinese-made electric car began to drive itself at 30 miles per hour, and Mr. Morrison was unable to use the brakes and ended up calling the police, who stopped the vehicle by allowing it slowly to crash into their van. And here he is. He's not looking too happy. Looking a bit grumpy. Oh, this is it now. The machines are taking over. And here's the incident of them bringing his car to a slow standstill. This is going to be the future with cars running amok. just getting minds of their own. Yeah, and here he is again with the car, which costs £30,000. There you go. There you go. So there's another thing to worry about with electric vehicles, is they can all start running amok and driving themselves. What else have we got? Have we got anything good here? A lot about David Beckham, because there's a new documentary that's dropped, but it's like a bit late, really, isn't it? But Beckham's star has waned a long time ago. But hey, this is good. This is how I get these things to the Euro 2028 competition, which we can all look forward to, because we'll only be, was it 2 years away from net zero then? Is going to be hosted by UK and Ireland, as Turkey has pulled out of the bidding process. So yeah, we are going to be hosting the Euro 2028 championships. That's going to be good. Meanwhile, is this yeah, this is a follow-on from yesterday's story. Remember I told you about the people that were blocking the rat run, and this was it, Bridgend in South Wales at the which school is it? Does it say? Bryn Menin Primary School. Well, things have escalated, and we've got some footage, but I'm just seeing if there's an advert. There is an advert, which I'll mute. People are skiing, holidays, something to do with holidays. I don't know. Go to Austria, apparently. But here we go. Here's the footage, and is yeah, an ugly fight breaks out between the parents and the people blocking the road. It's not looking good. Oh. There's a lot of finger pointing. There's a lot of weight. Oh, there's a push. Someone pushed. There's some pushing. But yeah, this is all because of the the cul-de-sac being used as a rat run, and people are angry. I mean, the Daily Mail have really got their teeth into this story. They're really enjoying it. And yeah, so there we go. So it's but we're going to have actually a still image. I can get the I can get it on the screen properly. Come on, Darren. What is going on? Here we go. Look at that. Road rage. Road rage. It's some pushing and shoving. And people aren't happy. I wonder if it's going to go into day 3. So, and here are the fuming residents who are stopping. I like the 2 who are anonymous. They've got their backs to the camera. I like that. It's like a Henry Magritte picture, isn't it? So there we go. Meanwhile, let's tell the story of Ebony King, right? And this story goes back to 2010, right? Here she is. And it's an odd story because she claims, right, that she lent a friend 50 quid, like you do, and she ended up being convicted of money laundering, right? And it led to her home being raided. And yeah. This is when she was 19, right? A friend who borrowed the 50 quid, right, repaid her. But when he repaid her by several £1,000s. He'd overpaid her, right? And so she called him and said, look, there's a mistake here, right? And so she took the money out and gave it to him. Now, what you've seen there is very simple money laundering. She got scammed into money laundering. And then the police turned up at her mum's house in Dagenham. And yeah, she got convicted of laundering money. So never lend any money to people. And if they transfer big account money into your account, big amounts, don't draw it out and give it to them, because she transferred illegally obtained funds, and she was convicted of it. There you go. And she ended up with a criminal record and convicted of concealing, converting, removing, and transferring criminal property. Meanwhile, the family friend who she lent 50 quid and then got all the money from disappeared and was never charged or convicted. And yeah, so there you go. You've got to be careful there. Got to be careful there. It's not good, is it? Meanwhile, here's a story for you. This is the story of Richard Hickson, and he bought a patch of land right outside his home. It came up for sale, and he bought it. And he thought what he'd do is he'd turn it into a nice garden, right? He bought the land from developers PJ Brazier and Company back in 2018, right? And then he spent £20,000 turning that piece of land into a garden. Yeah, so his daughters could play on it. Very nice, very nice. This was in Lyndhurst Way. Whereabouts is that? In Kent, Gravesend. So he thinks this is great, but 5 years later, he got a warning from Kent County Council that he now faces prosecution and a jail term if he doesn't remove the fence, because he's bought maintained by public expense by the council. Now, that's really interesting. Were the developers allowed to sell that land to him? He should really look this up, because I think he's been stiffed. He should have checked out the deeds beforehand. And yeah, he's found himself in a bit of a predicament, Mr. Richard. Here he is with his fence. So yeah, 25 grand in the hole, and looking at a jail term if he doesn't restore the land back to public usage. You've got to be careful. Be careful there. What else have we got? What else have we got? Got some sports news for you. This is Mark Palmans, right? He was playing a match in China, and we've got the footage here. Whoops, it's on. It's on Twitter. Here we go. I don't know if you quickly. I'll show you that again. So they're playing the shot. He misses it, and then he whacks the ball, and it hits the umpire right in the face. Watch the umpire up the top there. Right? Keep your eye up in the top, because he comes in, misses it, and then whacks the ball, and it hits the umpire right in the mooey. Not very good. And yeah, he was instantly disqualified for that. Yeah, the umpire got hit in the face and got an instant disqualification. So yeah, not good. There is Mark Pullman's in action. He's got a good tennis face there. But be careful. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. But you want more sports news? I got more sports news for you. We do that. Yeah, World Aquatics. And they kind of oversee swimming, right? In the Swimming World Cup in Berlin this week, they opened up a new category, a transgender category, in the interest of fairness, you know, so that transgender swimmers and athletes could take part. You know, it's like a new open category, so it's open, and they've had to cancel it because no entries were received. So now you know what it's all about, don't you? Now you know it is about men getting into women's sports and destroying those sports, because you give them equality, you give them a fair playing field, and they don't want it. So there you go. That's an interesting story. Bing. What else have we got? Got any other good ones here? I feel I'm being really blinded today. Turn it down. I just feel like I'm being absolutely blinded by the lights. Are there any other good stories here? Not really. Meanwhile, Ryanair passengers cheer as a disruptive tourist is led off the flight, going from Liverpool to Ibiza, and let's just let it come round. Here they go. And he looks a little bit worse for wear, doesn't he? He's I think he's had a few. He had a skinful there, and everyone cheered "Olé!" as he went off. Yeah, so there you go. Don't go anywhere. Meanwhile, hundreds of Royal Mail customers are unable to track their parcels as the system stops working. I've noticed that with Parcel Force. You know, you send stuff out and it's like, where's everything gone? Meanwhile, we've got we've talked about the Stratford Sphere, and we've got some people here who are talking about it. Again, there's the Las Vegas Sphere that's open this week, and U2 playing a residency. Well, they're planning a similar thing in Stratford, in the East End of London, and here's Matthew Lodge. And this is where he lives, and this will be the view from his window. See that space there? That's where the Sphere's going to be. So he's not too happy. Actually, and this fella, he's going to have a lovely view of the Sphere. Thing is you got to look at the bright side. You've got to look at the silver line. I always say silver lining. Won't need any electricity bills. You won't need any lights on anymore. Just have the curtains open, and you can be able to read from the light cast from the Stratford Sphere. You see, they're not thinking straight, are they? So yeah, and of course this is an artist's impression of what the Stratford Sphere will look like as it illuminates the night sky. Yeah. So we've got court case. This is the story of Jade Berry, a dental receptionist, right? Who got very, very drunk. Who got very, very drunk and ended up groping a schoolboy, aged 13, and told him she wanted to ride him till morning. And then she exposed herself to him. Apparently, this was at Riveracre Valley Country Park in Ellesmere Port in Cheshire. And yeah, the kid was sitting on a bench talking with his friends about his up and coming 14th birthday when Berry sat between the boys and began stroking the 13-year-old's genitals over his clothing. This is terrible. But the thing is she was so drunk, when she woke up the next morning, she didn't remember anything. And here she is, heading into court. I mean, it's not, again, get that drunk. It's not good, is it? And yeah, so when she was interviewed by police, she says, "Oh my God, I do not recall anything." You know, but she was picked out by the boy at the identity parade. The boy, who they say suffers from ADHD, said he was so traumatised by the incident that he tried to take his own life. And at Chester Crown Court, Berry, who lives in the village of Little Sutton near Ellesmere Port, pleaded guilty to sexual assault and was sentenced to 12 months in jail, suspended for 18 months, of course. But she's been put on the sex offenders register for 10 years. So, but don't worry, we've got something for the dads. There you go, something for the dads there. Silly, silly lady. Fancy doing that. What else have we got? Here's a good clip. Let's just roll around again. This is two drug dealers getting detained in a rather clever fashion. Here we go. Look at that. The police yoink them up into there. They can't get out. I think that's great. That was Arif Ali and Tanvir Ali trying to flee from the police. This was in Swansea, South Wales, when the police managed to hook them up into the air and gone trapped between them and a lamppost. It's a great picture. There's a picture of it. Yeah, it's just a still image of it there. That's really clever, that. There you go. Naughty boys. Naughty boys. Both admitted 2 counts of attempt to supply Class A drugs and were jailed at Swansea Crown Court. Sentenced to 3 years and 4 months. The other was sentenced to 3 years and 9 months. So that was good. Good result that time. What else have we got? Oh, loads of stuff from the Conservative conference. A lot on David Beckham. There's reams of stuff about this David Beckham documentary. I think we've got some pictures from Bored Panda. Is it Bored Panda? I don't know, but this is snaps. Yeah, Bored Panda snaps from offices around the world, and I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I've not looked at this. Coffee maker not hot, but has a great personality. There you go. So people are having fun with post-it notes there. Meanwhile, yeah, I don't know if you'd want to use that urinal. Yeah, if you suffer from shy pee, you have trouble. You're gonna have trouble there, aren't you? Keep watching me. A guy to eating fish in the workplace. Acceptable, unacceptable. Again, imagine that. Or a nice egg sandwich, boiled egg sandwich. There you go. Do not print large jobs, and somebody did. They donated Steve Jobs. You can poop with friends or poop in private. That's how you know if the door is locked. Printer's name is Bob Marley. Reason, it's always jamming. Yeah, don't worry about that ink, 'cause everything you print gonna turn out white. There you go. Nice little fun there for you. Paper towel dispenser is now voice activated. Okay. There you go. Ooh. Dead batteries free of charge. Very useful. And there you go. So some of them are all right. I wasn't that impressed. I didn't think it was worth stealing it from Bored Panda, Daily Mail, but there you go. What else have we got? Not a lot. Have I done enough? Yeah, I feel like I've done enough. I feel like I've done enough damage today. Got to cook. Got to cook a bacon sandwich. So let's end with an animal story. This is Crocodile Chris, right? This is from the Everglades Outpost in Homestead, Florida. Yes, it's a Florida story. And this fella, you can tell why he's called Crocodile Chris, because he just doesn't care. He'll get in there and even tickle the crocodiles. And yeah, Casper is one of 15 alligators and 4 crocodiles at the Everglades Outpost where Chris has been working. And Daily Mail just refreshed the page there. Ruining my rhythm. And I think we'll leave it there. Let's see if there's anybody in the chat room. 5 people in. Yeah, not very good today. Cole says, parents can be a bit feisty sometimes. Witnessed a couple of disagreements outside the gates of Castle Hill. I think I've only ever witnessed one, and that was a social media thing. And some other said, don't you say whatever on Facebook. And that's the only time I've ever seen it. The worst fight I saw was a young girl wailing on another girl and just really pummeling her in the head. Renee said, hey Darren, good afternoon. It's cold over here. Brr. Well, it's quite mild here. 17 degrees here. It's still fairly pleasant. So there we go. Anyway, that was coffee time. Killing the channel one video at a time. You know you've got to drink out. Ta-ta.